I used to think my life was simple. I'm happy, I told Emily one night. I really am. She smiled and said, that's because we're solid. I believed her. I believed everything she said. My name doesn't matter much. What matters is that I was the kind of man who planned ahead. I planned dinners, weekends, futures. Emily Carter was at the center of all of it. We'd been together for 3 years, long enough that her habits felt like home. You always overthink, she said while tying her hair. I just care, I replied. And that's why I love you, she said. Those words stayed with me. I built myself around them. Ryan Brooks used to joke that I was lucky. Man, you've got it easy, he said. Good girl, steady job, calm life. I laughed and said, I worked for it. He clapped my shoulder. You did. Ryan was more than a friend. He was family. We grew up together, shared bad apartments, cheap food, and dreams we thought would happen automatically. If there was one person I never questioned, it was him. Emily started working late around that time. Big project, she said, tossing her bag down. I asked, every night. She rolled her eyes. Just for a while. I nodded, even though something felt off. At dinner one night, I asked, do you still like cooking together? She paused. Of course. I'm just tired. Tired of work. Tired in general, she said. I told myself not to read into it. Ryan started calling more often. You free tonight? He asked. Emily's working late again, I said. Then come out, he replied. It felt harmless. Friendly. Normal. One evening, Emily sat across from me scrolling her phone. You're quiet, I said. She sighed. Long day. You've been having a lot of those. Can we not do this? She snapped. I leaned back. Do what? Turn everything into a problem. That hurt, but I swallowed it. Later, in bed, I asked, are we okay? She didn't look at me. Why wouldn't we be? I just feel like you're somewhere else. She turned and kissed my cheek. You're imagining things. I apologized. I always did. Ryan noticed my mood. You all right? He asked over coffee. Yeah, I said. Just life. He nodded. Relationships change. Doesn't mean they're broken. I trusted him. I needed to. Emily stopped telling me details. I'll be late, became enough explanation. When I asked who she was with, she said, work people. When I asked which ones, she said, does it matter? I hated myself for asking. One night, I cooked dinner anyway. She came home after 10. You didn't have to wait, she said. I wanted to, I replied. She poked the food. I already ate. I smiled and said, that's fine. Ryan texted me later. You okay? Yeah, I typed. Just a quiet night. He sent a thumbs up. The cracks were small, but they spread. On a Sunday morning, I said, let's plan a trip. She laughed softly. You're always planning. That's who I am. She shrugged. I don't know my schedule. That scared me more than I admitted. That night, as we lay in the dark, I whispered, I feel like I'm losing you. She exhaled slowly. You're not. Then why does it feel like this? She turned toward me and said, calm and gentle, I don't need you to worry so much. I held on to that sentence like it was a promise. I didn't know it was the beginning of the end. Something felt wrong before it actually was. I noticed it in the silence. Emily texted me at 6. Running late again, she wrote. I replied, dinner? Rain check, she said. I stared at the phone longer than I should have. Tomorrow. I typed. Maybe, came back. That word sat heavy. I tried Ryan next. No answer. I called again. Straight to voicemail. That was new. I told myself not to spiral. People get busy, I said out loud. Still, my chest felt tight. I decided to walk. Movement usually helped. Halfway down the block, my phone buzzed. It was Sarah Miller. She worked with Emily. I'd met her twice. Hey, she said when I answered. Random question. Sure, I replied. Are you meeting Emily tonight? My steps slowed. No, I said. Why? Oh, she laughed lightly. Then I must be mistaken. Mistaken about what? I asked. There was a pause. I thought she said you were coming, Sarah replied. Coming where? Another pause. Never mind, she said. Sorry, must have mixed things up. The call ended, but the questions didn't. I stood there, staring at the dark screen. Emily hadn't mentioned plans. Ryan hadn't answered. I told myself to go home. I didn't. My feet moved on their own. I knew where Emily liked to unwind after work. I hated myself for going. The place wasn't loud, just warm. I stood outside longer than necessary. Then I saw them. Emily was sitting across from Ryan. She was leaning forward, laughing. Not polite laughter. Real laughter. Ryan said something I couldn't hear. Emily covered her mouth, eyes bright. I hadn't seen that smile in months. My hands went cold. Nothing inappropriate was happening. That almost made it worse. They looked easy together. Like this was normal. Like I wasn't missing. Ryan glanced around and stiffened. Emily didn't notice at first. She reached for her drink and said something. Ryan didn't laugh. Emily turned. Our eyes met. Her smile vanished. I stepped back before she could speak. I didn't want explanations. Not yet. I walked fast. My heart pounded. My phone rang. Emily. I didn't answer. Another call came in. Ryan. I ignored that too. By the time I reached my apartment, my legs hurt. I locked the door and leaned against it. I replayed everything. Late nights. Canceled plans. Ryan's sudden availability. I remembered Emily saying, "You're imagining things." I remembered Ryan saying, "Doesn't mean it's broken." I sat on the couch in the dark. My phone buzzed again. A message from Emily. "Where are you?" I typed. Deleted. Typed again. Deleted. I didn't know what to say. Another message came through. "Ryan, call me." I didn't. I lay back and stared at the ceiling. I realized something then. Love doesn't always end with shouting. Sometimes it ends quietly. It slips away, laugh by laugh, moment by moment. And that night, I understood something else. I hadn't lost her suddenly. I had already been replaced. I didn't plan the confrontation. It happened because silence stopped working. Emily stood in the kitchen, arms crossed. "You've been distant," I said. She scoffed. "That's rich." "I'm serious," I replied. "Something changed." She looked away. "People change. Is that your answer?" "It's the truth," she said. I stepped closer. "Did I do something?" She laughed, sharp and tired. "You always do this." "Do what?" "Make everything about you." That stung. "I'm trying to understand," I said. She shook her head. "You don't." I asked, "Are you pulling away?" She exhaled slowly. "I need space." "From me." "From everything," she replied. I wanted to scream. Instead, I asked, "Is there someone else?" Her eyes snapped to mine. "No," she said quickly. Too quickly. "Then why does it feel like I'm losing you?" She rubbed her temples. "Because you've changed." "Changed how?" "You're insecure," she said. Suspicious. I felt my chest tighten. "I'm reacting," I said. "Not imagining." "You're overthinking," she replied. Ryan still wasn't answering my calls. That silence was louder than her words. I said, "You and Ryan have been close." She frowned. "He's your friend." "That's not an answer." She snapped. Nothing happened. I nodded slowly. "That's not what I asked," I said. She turned away. "I don't want to fight," she muttered. The conversation ended without ending. No truth. No apology. The next day at work, I couldn't focus. Mark Thompson noticed. "You look wrecked," he said. "I'm fine," I replied. He raised an eyebrow. "Try again." We sat in the break room. I said, "How do you know when someone's leaving?" He took a sip of coffee. "When they stop explaining." That hit hard. "I feel crazy," I admitted. "You're not," he said. "You're just not being heard." I asked, "What if I'm the problem?" He looked at me calmly. "Then they'd talk, not disappear." I didn't answer. That night, Emily came home late again. "You didn't text," I said. "I forgot," she replied. I followed her into the living room. "We need to talk." She sighed. "Again?" "Yes," I said. "I feel pushed out." She crossed her arms. "I can't fix feelings you create." That sentence stayed with me. I said, "I'm not asking you to fix me." "Then what do you want?" "Honesty," I replied. She hesitated. "I care about you," she said. But I don't feel understood." I whispered, "By me." She didn't answer. That night, she took a call in the other room. Her voice was low, gentle. I wasn't trying to listen. I heard my name. "He doesn't understand me like you do," Emily said. My body froze. She continued, softer now. "I'm just tired of explaining myself." I stepped back before she saw me. In that moment, something inside me broke quietly. Not anger. Acceptance. I understood then. Love doesn't always leave with a confession. Sometimes it leaves with comparison. I went to bed alone. She didn't notice. And I finally accepted the truth. She was already gone. I didn't announce my exit. I didn't argue or beg. I just stopped showing up. Emily came home one evening and found half the closet empty. "Where are your things?" she asked. "I took them," I said calmly. She frowned. "Why?" I met her eyes. "I needed space." She laughed nervously. "You can't just disappear." "I can," I replied. She followed me through the apartment. "We didn't finish our conversation," she said. "There's nothing left to say," I answered. That scared her. I saw it. "Are you punishing me?" she asked. "No," I said. "I'm protecting myself." She didn't know how to respond to that. I moved into a small place across town. No pictures. No memories. Just quiet. The first night alone felt heavy. But it felt clean too. Daniel Wright came over with pizza. "You look different," he said. "Worse?" I asked. "Stronger," he replied. Daniel was younger, still hopeful. He believed in love the way I used to. "What happened?" he asked. I said, "I stopped begging." He blinked. "That's it. That's everything," I replied. He sat beside me. "So you just walked away?" "Yes. No closure." I shook my head. "Doesn't that hurt?" he asked. "It hurts," I said. But staying hurt more. Emily started calling the next day. I didn't answer. She texted, "Where are you?" I ignored it. Another message followed. "This isn't funny." Still nothing. Ryan messaged me too. "Hey man, you good?" I stared at the screen. Didn't reply. Daniel noticed. "You're really cutting them off," he said. "I have to," I replied. "For how long?" "As long as it takes." That night, Emily showed up unannounced. I didn't open the door. "I know you're in there," she said through the wood. "Please talk to me." I stayed silent. "Why are you doing this?" she asked. My hand hovered near the handle. I stepped back instead. Her voice cracked. "I don't understand." I whispered, "Neither did I." She left after a while. Ryan tried again the next day. "Don't be like this," he texted. "We should talk." I turned my phone off. Daniel watched me. "You okay?" he asked. "I'm learning," I said. Days passed. The urge to explain faded. Emily sent one last message. "Did I lose you?" I didn't answer. Because the truth was simple. She lost access to me. One evening, Daniel said, "You know what scares people the most?" "What?" I asked. "Silence," he replied. He was right. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't desperate. I was gone. And for the first time, I chose myself. Months passed without announcements. I didn't post updates or explain myself. I just lived. Work became routine. "Morning," my manager said. "Morning," I replied. "You've been sharp lately." "I'm focused," I said. I stayed late by choice. Not to escape. To build. Daniel noticed the change. "You don't look tired anymore," he said. "I sleep better," I replied. "Without answers?" "Without noise," I said. Emily started calling after midnight. I never picked up. One night, a text came through. "Are you okay?" I stared at it, then locked my phone. At the gym, a woman corrected my posture. "You're rushing the lift," she said. "I'm used to rushing," I replied. She smiled. "Try control." That was Laura Bennett. We talked between sets. No flirting. No history. "What do you do?" she asked. "I rebuild things," I said. "Professionally or personally?" "Yes," I replied. She nodded like she understood. Ryan's name started coming up again. "Did you hear about him?" a coworker asked. "No," I said. "He lost that promotion." I didn't react. Laura and I grabbed coffee one afternoon. "You're quiet," she said. "I prefer listening now." "To what?" "To myself," I replied. She didn't laugh. She respected that. Emily texted again. "I miss how we talked." I deleted it. Daniel asked, "Do you feel bad?" "Sometimes," I said. "For them." "For who I used to be," I replied. Ryan finally called from a new number. "I don't get you," he said when I answered. "You don't need to," I replied. "We were brothers," he insisted. "You replaced me," I said calmly. Silence followed. Laura asked one evening, "Do you believe in revenge?" "I used to," I said. "And now?" "I believe in distance," I replied. She smiled softly. Emily showed up at my work building once. I saw her through the glass. She didn't come in. Later, she texted, "You look different." I didn't answer. Ryan's messages grew longer. Defensive. Apologetic. I read none of them fully. Laura said, "Peace is louder than proving a point." I nodded. Daniel grinned one night. "They didn't expect you to survive." "I didn't either," I said. Emily sent one last message. "Was I that easy to lose?" I whispered the answer to myself. No. I was just done fighting. That was the truth. Emily asked to meet me on a quiet afternoon. I just want to talk, she said on the phone. I replied, I can listen. She arrived looking smaller than I remembered. You look calm, she said. I am, I replied. We sat across from each other. She didn't reach for her coffee. I didn't think you'd actually leave, she said. I didn't think I'd stay, I replied. Her eyes filled. You were safe, she said. And Ryan? I asked. He felt alive, she admitted. I nodded slowly. And now? I asked. She swallowed. Now I feel nothing. She leaned forward. I made a mistake. I know, I said. She looked surprised. You do? Yes, I replied. You chose comfort over respect. Her hands shook. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did, I said calmly. She whispered. Why didn't you fight? I answered. Because love shouldn't need begging. That silence changed her. Ryan showed up late. He looked nervous. You're really done? He asked. Yes, I said. He laughed weakly. This isn't like you. It is now, I replied. He leaned back. You're acting superior. No, I said. I'm acting healed. Emily stared at the table. Ryan's voice cracked. We were family. I looked at him. You crossed a line, I said. You never came back. He rubbed his face. I didn't think you'd disappear. That was your mistake, I replied. Emily finally looked at me. Do you hate me? She asked. I answered honestly. No. Her face fell. Then what do you feel? Nothing. I owe you, I said. She started crying. I lost everything. You lost access, I corrected. Ryan stood up. So that's it. That's it, I replied. He shook his head. You think you're better than us. I think I'm better to myself, I said. Emily reached for my hand. I pulled back gently. I'm sorry, she whispered. I believe you, I said. Her eyes widened. Then why won't you try again? I took a breath. Because apologies don't rebuild trust, I said. She nodded slowly. Ryan muttered. This feels unfair. I stood up. It feels final, I replied. Emily said softly. I never thought you'd be the one who walked away. I looked at her one last time. I never thought you'd give me a reason. I left without looking back. Outside, the air felt lighter. Not happy. Free. They stayed behind with their regret. I carried my peace forward. I woke up one morning without checking my phone. That was how I knew I'd changed. Laura noticed it first. You're lighter, she said while walking beside me. I stopped carrying ghosts, I replied. We sat on a bench near the river. No tension. No expectations. You don't talk about them anymore, she said. I don't need to, I answered. She nodded. That's growth. I thought about Emily sometimes. Not with anger. With distance. Daniel called later that week. You good? He asked. I'm steady, I said. Proud of you, he replied. That meant more than he knew. Laura asked. Do you ever miss who you were? I smiled softly. I forgive him, I said. She waited. He did his best, I continued. That was the truth. I used to think strength meant holding on. Now I knew it meant letting go. Laura never tried to fix me. She just walked beside me. I don't need saving, I told her once. She smiled. I know. That respect mattered. One evening, I stood alone on my balcony. The city was quiet. I spoke out loud. You survived. No one answered. And that was okay. I realized something then. The someone who was always there was me. The version I ignored. The voice I silenced. I chose him finally. Laura joined me later. You're thinking again, she said. I'm remembering, I replied. She squeezed my shoulder. I'll let you, she said. I didn't need revenge. I didn't need closure. I needed myself back. Emily and Ryan faded into lessons. Not scars. Daniel visited one last time before moving cities. You won, he said. I survived, I corrected. He laughed. Same thing. I shook my head. No, I said. Better. Laura asked. What's next? I looked ahead. Peace, I answered. She smiled. I didn't become cold. I became unreachable. And that was enough.